somebody always has it worse than you, you know? I mean, if I didn't have a scholarship, would I even be able to afford to pay to go to law school, you know? If my parents weren't on me so hard about, you know, school, about outreach, about community, about people, would I even care to be doing this in the first place, you know? I didn't have to worry about, you know, food, water, shelter, and things like that because my parents accepted their responsibility and took care of it. So I have it pretty easy, you know, I mean, compared to other kids, and we all see the stories on the news of, you know, kids that are neglected or their parents did this, you know, do they hope for a better future? I mean, hopelessness is the most dangerous drug in the world, and my parents provided plenty of hope for me, so all I need to do is perform. So I don't really feel like it's pressure, I don't really feel like it's stress. I just start thinking about where I could be, and then all the tiredness and sleepless nights that I get, I mean, it just goes away. When I was a kid, my dad, there wasn't a lot of girls basketball leagues at that time, so I played with boys, and I was better than all of them. So, I mean, my dad was like, oh, this might be something that she's pretty good at. And from then on, I mean, going into high school and then, you know, getting letters since 8th grade, and it was just kind of one of those things that I was blessed and realized that I would probably end up playing in college. I fell in love with Baylor. It wasn't very aggressive or just, you know, how it's kind of like a used car salesman that kind of won't let you breathe at all or anything like that. I mean, they were very honest, they were blunt. This is what we have, this is what we have to offer, and this is why we want you here. And it matched me perfectly. I'm in law school now because I'm constantly trying to figure out ways to make, you know, this world a better place for everybody. But when I first became an officer, I was really frustrated all the time at so much anger, so much aggression toward us, so much hatred, and I just couldn't understand why people, quote unquote, chose to behave that way. But, you know, it changed who I was as a person because I realized that, you know, if I grew up in those circumstances, I might behave that way too. You know, the anger that comes out of the hand that, you know, life's dealt you, you know, that impacts people. And you stop being so upset about people that behave that way. And I found a way to talk to them and kind of mentor them and get them to calm down and get them to understand the bigger picture. And I do a lot of teaching with, you know, community, especially right now, you know, all the tension between police and black community and all that. Well, I'm both, so I get both. So I'm able to speak to both sides, and I feel like that's kind of my mission to help, you know, police also understand, well, these are the kind of things that happens in, you know, inner city communities or whatever. Well, these are kind of things that happen to cops, you know. So being able to be both of those and explain to both sides, you know, some of the frustrations and anger that both sides have is kind of a unique skill, I guess, because everybody isn't black, everybody isn't a police officer. So I've kind of used that to try to impact my community and whoever will listen, you know, around me regarding those issues. The doors have been opening for me since I've been on the department. They always have before, and I assume that they will continue to do that for me after. I mean, the more I build my resume and the more things that I try to, you know, impact, I mean, there's somebody who needs some services somewhere, and hopefully I'm qualified for it. So I don't really live life expecting or having a plan, well, I'll be married at this age and I'll have a kid at this age. I mean, because that kind of, you know, depresses you if you start thinking about that. But I just want to be informed and learn as much as I can and be open to any opportunity that presents itself to me. If your advisors or if you have outside people who think that you're going to be a professional athlete and don't worry about your career, you know, you blow out 2 knees, you know, you're done. And even after you have a career and you're successful in it, if you do make it pro, I mean, you still need to do something for the next 50 years of your life. So, I mean, it's hard to think that way, and as much of a support system as I had from my parents, and I knew this was coming, but it still was hard to really grasp at 19, 20, 21 years old. So the main thing is just finish school. The odds of you coming back are slimmer, but you know, it can happen, but just stick it out, finish school, get a degree that is useful in society, and it just kind of just do, that's one of those things you just do because your parents told you to, or because your counselor told you to, or because your coach told you to. You know, don't listen to people who have opinions about what you should be doing if it's not something that's gonna benefit you in the long run. Get your degree, graduate, and you can do whatever you want to do after that. Thanks to the Big 12 and Baylor University, I am a champion for life.